Well, for me, mental health I think it's become more and more prominent because more people talk about it. And I think that, for us as individuals, I think the communication part of it is usually the key. And I think, I know from a team perspective, we always try and communicate with the players individually multiple times during the year. I think the more they talk about it, the better it is. And, me personally, I think we all go through those ups and downs, and you just try and stay even keel as a coach, because sometimes the losses, is stressful as a coaching staff. You put pressure on yourself to win hockey games, and for me, you just try to get away from it, right? And it's not easy to shut things down. It's very difficult to shut things down, but you got to have good family support, and I think that's one of our strengths from a personal perspective is the family environment that we have, and to try to get away from the rink and do different things, that where it's just not hockey all the time, but it's never easy.
Mental health is obviously a big topic in the world today, and I think it's very important, not only for me and my family and everyone else in the world. And I think the true testament of toughness is opening up and admitting you're vulnerable. And how I deal with it personally, I find exercise really alleviates some of the stressors of life. Surrounding myself with family and friends in positive environments, and I do what I love. So I'm in a positive environment every single day, and it allows me to live my life the way that I want it. Throughout my career, I had a history of concussions. There were some very dark days. How I dealt with it, I was encouraged by doctors and people around me to surround yourself in positive environments, whether that's with family, friends. And the true thing that I learned was about toughness was to open up, and I think that's the most important thing is, everyone fights their own battles, and the severity is obviously very different on the scale of that, but everyone fights their own battles. And for me, being able to open up about it to family and friends, it felt like there was weight lifted off my shoulders and helped me kind of get through some of those really dark days.
Mental health's really important for me because everything I do, I want to have and promote a feeling of success. If you're struggling to achieve the goals you set forward, it's really tough mentally. So then we want to try and promote success. We do that with a positive mental environment, and part of my job is to create atmosphere. So if I can create atmosphere every day for these players that the gym is viewed as a positive space, then it will really aid in the amount of work that we can do. In order to maintain my own mental health, I think there has to be that relationship where you can disconnect from your work-life balance. When I'm at the rink, I'm at the rink, but the minute we step outside that door, it's work has to take a break, whether it's with family, friends, even the same guys as a social atmosphere. It's just learn to disconnect from that work and just be a person again and realize that there's much more to life than just being at your job and in the rink. Mental strength, honestly, and resiliency for that matter is just as important as physical outputs. I have a quote right on my wall in the gym: execute the basics to perfection. A big component of that is just as much mentally being there as you are physically. When I prescribe things for the guys to do, I have to have them mentally engaged and understanding why we're doing it. That matches that physical output. It's a hand-in-hand relationship. If you don't have one, then you really need the other one too. So then to kind of circle back, I believe mental strength is really important for the field of strength and conditioning, and it's one thing we do work on because everything I prescribe for players is hard. Nothing we do is easy, so that mental strength component really aids them in aiming for that physical growth that we're trying to promote as an organization.
Mental health is extremely important to myself. You always have to be taking care of yourself and being open to others, and the way that I take care of my mental side is just looking after myself, eating the right foods, and you just take care of good sleep, and kind of all those things translate into good mental health and good overall health. As being a leader in our dressing room, you know, I just tried to be there for each and every guy to come and talk to, and you know, be a support valve for everybody, and you know, make sure everyone's, you know, mentally and physically in the right mindset.
Yeah, mental health is something that's talked about now, which is good, and for me, I take it very serious. You know, I'm sure, like everyone, I've had my bouts with some things that obviously didn't go my way, and there've been challenges, and it's important to talk to someone, whether it's a friend, a doctor, or, you know, a teammate like us, and it matters, and it's important to talk. As an older guy on the Sens, I think me and the other older guys, including the young guys, and everything we do, whether it's going to dinner or having a team function where, you know, everyone comes over and we get to hang out and get to learn more about each other, is a good way to maintain a good culture and include the young guys.
Mental health is something that I have had an interesting relationship with throughout my life, I think. I had, as an athlete growing up, a lot of anxiety, and I saw a sports psychologist from a very young age, and really kind of worked through what that meant for me and how my anxiety kind of manifested in my life. And growing up and being an adult now and in the role that I'm in, it's very high stress, and it's very kind of full on all the time. And so I make sure that I prioritize my mental health by, you know, talking to my friends, spending time with my family, but really kind of making sure that I'm unplugging when I am telling other people to do that I'm taking my own advice. You know, I still deal with anxiety on a daily basis, and it's something that I will always deal with, but knowing now what, you know, my triggers are and what different things and how they affect me, and having, you know, a toolbox filled with different things that I can draw on to make sure that I'm being my best self and giving myself the best opportunities to succeed in my daily life is really important. I think that something that's really important, and I learned this last year, is that the way that we as a society view mental health illness or issues is really negative when it doesn't necessarily need to be that way. You know, I think one of the statistics is, you know, 1 in 5 people have struggled with mental health in the course of their lifetime, and you know, there's a movement called Same Here, where people are, you know, saying 5 out of 5 people have been through something in their life. And I think that that's kind of where we need to go, that it's not all of us have something going on. All of us are dealing with our own things, and that's not a negative. That's just the way that life is, and that's okay.
Mental health's huge for me. I mean, it's something that I've struggled with in the past, and I still have my issues with it. I mean, I'll be completely honest, I still struggle with it the odd time. But at the end of the day, I mean, I've become self-aware enough to know what my trigger signs are when I am slipping, and kind of what I'm feeling, my emotions in that time. So being able to talk to someone, have proper outlet, and honestly, like my friends of mine ask me, like, hey, like, I'm struggling with this, what can I do? Honestly, talking to a registered therapist or a psychologist or someone that they can kind of help you, give you answers and solutions to what you're thinking, your emotions, and I mean, how to move forward and live a productive life. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, there's with anyone who struggles with mental health, and I definitely had my struggles during that time. You do have bad days, but at the end of the day, like, you gotta, whether it's relying on your support system, your family, your friends, whoever it may be, just being able to talk to someone and talk about what you're dealing with, no matter how big or how small that issue is. That's all you can do as a person who is struggling with their mental health. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing that I can preach to anyone.